We're back. We're going to line 2 and speak to Mr. Jim Learning, calling from Labrador. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to speak to you again. What's on your mind today?
Muskrat Falls, as usual, because we're living right in the middle of this fiasco here and suffering the fallout from all this crap. So I wish I could just be thinking about the festivals I've been listening to you talk about, and two. Well, we have our festivals, and we will, in spite of this, whatever this is up there. Now, I just wanted to say that, with SNC Lavalin pulling the strings here financially, it's just a disaster for us, whoever pulls them. But these guys are allowed to just do this without going to jail where they belong. It's just criminal, to say the least.
What specifically are you referring to today? Just the whole project, or is there something?
The whole project, and comparing it to, say, the situation in Alberta, where they're running in extra transmission lines with those strong bills without having to consult people, as those bills in 1930 and 50 were 36 were foisted on the people, the same as 29, 60, and 61 were foisted on us. Seems like wherever these guys go, they leave a trail of, well, disaster for the taxpayer. So that's my beef about that this afternoon.
Yeah, well, certainly the discussion continues, and a lot of people still have their fears and concerns over the project for a variety of reasons, financial, environmental, etc. It continues, as you know more than most of us, because you see it all the time, and the people surrounding it. Do you think that there's any possibility whatsoever that with a new government anything could change, or is it full steam ahead regardless of what happens now?
Well, it seems like it's full speed ahead and damn the torpedoes no matter what happens, but we all know what they say is it can't be stopped. Well, you know darn well if you run out of money, anything can be stopped, and we'll hope that will happen. At least I hope it will happen. I know I can't speak for anybody else, but to save what little environment we got left, it would be a good thing to happen, because we're being poisoned left, right, and center. We've got the methyl mercury thing going on, and our wildlife is going to take a beating, because if you've seen those 120 wide swaths they're laying down for the transmission line to go for the kick up to Churchill and back, and then back on down towards your way, it's pretty horrendous. Now, having said that, I'm going to follow that on with the fact that not only are they we're being poisoned from the methyl mercury add-on from the Upper Churchill project, but now we're going to have all those many miles and acres or hectares of land to be covered by Tordon 101, which is a herbicide that is carcinogenic, and because of it's mixed with peclorum, and it has 2,4-D content in it. So
Agent White is the sort of street name for it, yeah.
That's right. So we got that to look forward to coming behind us. I mean, this territory is just being quietly bathed in chemicals, and Nalcor, the dog, is what's doing it. So I think it's time to stop that thing from pissing all over our territory, or push back, or talk about it at least. If we're not going to stand up and do anything about it, let's scream. But
well, there's a protest happening, I think, up your way on Saturday. I think Greg Malone was on this morning talking about the Tordon 101, and he says, I think it's here at 1 o'clock in Bannerman Park, and 10 or 10:30 up there. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And many thanks to Greg for doing this, because and the other people involved, Bob Diamond and John Parsons and George Murphy, all of those people. It's just great that we're putting together something together to try to push back on this, or make people aware of the poison that's just being snuck across the land without any real awareness of it. I mean, I was a kid in the 50s when they were laying down DDT. That was supposed to be harmless as well.
Yeah.
We know it wasn't, and we're all living with results. Some of us are living with the exact results of that today. So this is what we have to try to prevent. As for preventing Muskrat Falls, I don't know. If the money thing can stop them, that's the only thing that will. Sanity won't do it.
Well, legal challenge sometimes can play a role as well, of course.
That's good. If like this lawyer in Alberta, somebody like this lawyer in Alberta was pushing back against that, well, we don't have a lot of lawyers in this territory doing that, and the people on the island are quite quite far away from this that don't look quite as urgent to them because they're not seeing the destruction. They won't be feeling the destruction. If there's any benefits from it, the power will be there for them, but when they're finished paying for it, of course, that will not be a benefit anymore, being produced at 30 cents a kilowatt hour and sold for $4. Somebody's got to pay for it, and it's us, the taxpayer.
Well, I think, if there was perhaps more, as they say, picture paints 1,000 words, if there was more material, more video in particular, material available online or whatnot, so people did get a real sense of what's going on and the scale of it, perhaps that wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing, just so, for not for one side or the other, just for general information. But you mentioned DDT, and I just wanted to say, I guess, tied to that oftentimes we complain or raise questions, and the powers that be dismiss us as having a childlike kind of concern for being naive and completely oblivious to the big picture and the economic realities and whatnot. And then after time passes, we all of a sudden realize, no, actually we had a legitimate complaint there, and there was something to it. And had we been a little bit more forceful, perhaps some of the damage could have been mitigated, and we could have seen the justice of our problems or our argument in the first place.
Exactly right. And here I say, and I can quite say this, few of us out here in the wilderness screaming, nobody paying a lot of attention. Down the road is just going to be, wow, what hit us?
It doesn't mean you're wrong if nobody's paying attention or you're being dismissed. That's for sure.
No, and I take your point about the pictures. I think that's a darn good idea. I think we'll do something about that. The pictures will help a lot more. Absolutely.
It's certainly something that can be done, but I wouldn't assume that you're going to be able to get them easily without a little bit of controversy or fight, because they know this as well, that people really truly appreciate the reality of things when they see it for themselves. So good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Jim Lernan calling from Labrador.